the recording going again. And so we're going to light some Palo Santo, which is really great for clearing the space. And what's beautiful about Palo Santo is that it not only clears the space, it also leaves room for us to fill that space with intention. And so as we really set the stage for what's going to happen today, and at 7:33, which is when we said we were going to go live, I want you to see this flame as the flame that is in your heart. I want you to understand how brightly that flame burns and how beautiful and sacred that flame is within you. And that is what you feel from me and others too when we gather, which is why this has been a mind game to keep us out of our hearts and in our heads, to keep us in a loop that would make it so instead of being present, present, where our flame truly dwells behind the heart, where the flame of wisdom, love, and power burn bright, that is what can go out if we are not looking after ourselves, which is why self-care is so important in setting the stage, to let the smoke actually set us free. So anything that you see in your life that may not be in the greatest and highest good, that is calling on you to let go or to develop a new relationship, I want you to now see that in this flame. And I want you to see that it has came up for you now at this time because you are ready to let it go. And what I want you to know is that in the place of that which you are relieving or releasing, you are also making space for something better to come into that space. And I want you to get clarity from that contrast that taught you what no longer serves you, so that now you can truly do what is required by igniting within your heart this light, where you are able to burn bright with others who are also burning bright. Because the thing is that when we stand in our light, we do not need to cast a shadow on anyone, for that is not the point. It is not about shrinking so anyone feels better about themselves because we made ourselves be less. It is instead knowing that this one flame can burn bright and all of us can be connected through this one flame. And so today, I want to say we came together so that we can do what only we can do as the players on the field. I want you to understand that this flame is what is inside of each of us. And so I appreciate you for letting go of that which no longer serves, that which you've brought to this meeting to transmute. And then this is also our opportunity to set that stage for the ones who will come to lead tomorrow's yesterday, which is what today is, and every day hereafter too, because there is never a not now moment. That is just the illusion. We think that the past or the future is not now, but it was then when it came, and here we are. So it's time for us to really get back to this moment where we can be safe and let the smoke fly, and so it will as old things burn. And we have to know that we have a chance to feed that which is better inside of us. So that is really how I wanted to open this space, and was going to share this recording and then didn't want to not have my co-host here. So I am very thrilled to see Jugu in the view, and thank you for showing up today, darling. It's great to have you here as one who works with youth and is really standing in your light, doing what you can in this fight. So if you wanted to actually give yourself an introduction for those who listen back and for those who are on the call as well. Your light shines bright, sister, and I am going to get us going live on Facebook to stream until it is 8 o'clock. And so we're going to be calling in the youth. And so the intention as we made the space, as that was burning bright, is really to also make sure that those who have hurting hearts or need to feel heard and felt and need to know that they have found a place to belong, that is who we're calling in, regardless of their age or stage. And so may we call in the young ones who have a very bright flame that is trying to be tamed far too soon. And if you wanted to take it away from here, we'll just get you to unmute and you've got the floor, my friend.
Hi, everyone. My name is Duigo. Thank you so much for that intro, Laura. Where do I start? So I'm a child therapist, but I don't really do things in the traditional way. I wasn't born to do things in the traditional way. And so through my training, I've realized that some of the things we're taught as professionals don't necessarily take the child into consideration. And so a lot of what I had to do was relearn being a child, relearn what it was to be doing things from a child's perspective. And the really cool thing is we all have that capacity to go into that inner child place, an inner child play place. That does require some acknowledgement of some of the things that did happen when we were younger. Mm-hmm. And so thus has kind of created my next chapter as we must reinvent ourselves. Surely I'm not gonna like go down in flames because of free choice. And so one of the things that I realized was teachers and those working with children, you know, do their own thing when it comes to providing the services that they're meant to. And so one of the things that I realized, the premise that I'm basing my next project on, is that adults that have unresolved childhood trauma are 100% going to project that onto children. And, you know, we were brought up thinking that this was completely normal. A parent, like a child doing something, the parent yelling, and then that normalizing, and then that got normalized in schools. And we know like back then, like I don't even know how far back, we'd say like maybe even 30, 50 years ago, there was a different way that the education system was. So, you know, this isn't something that's like 100,000 years ago. This is something that we're needing to address immediately. And so some of the ways that I'm implementing my energy in a very effective way and in a way that feels in alignment for me is to create professional development for teachers and those that work with children to then, you know, deal with the stuff so then we can actually be active teacher-student moments where, you know, students are the teacher and then teacher is a student, and it's this like really cool bi-directional like sharing of, well, ideally what we can offer one another as beautiful reflections of one another. So that's what I do.
That's absolutely required. So thank you. Were you going to say more there? Because I didn't mean to cut you off, but we were actually talking in a messenger or in a comments of the Facebook sections to actually say that you had a teacher that really impacted you, that also was really impacted by you. And so I thought that would be an amazing aspect to bring into the setting of the stage, since the plan hasn't went to plan, and so we're just shifting and we're still going to breathe together. I just want to make sure that Nina has an opportunity to let me know if something's come up or whether it was a time zone issue. And so she is going to guide us through that breathing process if she's still able to come within the next few minutes. Otherwise, I can guide us through a process and really just set the stage. Before we came live, we did actually do some burning of Palo Santo for clearing and also bringing in intention. So that was what happened before you got to be here with us live. And now we have a child therapist who is going to share the story about a teacher who really touched you, and not literally, but also that you touched her heart. And so if you could speak into that, and we've got Nina who just jumped in as well, which is perfect timing. So that's fantastic. And if you want to share that story before we have an opportunity for Nina to give her full intro, I'll touch in. I'll touch there with you, Nina, in a minute. It's awesome to be here with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for letting me be late. I apologize. I'm an hour off. I thought I had 1 more hour, so I apologize. These time zones are messing with me.
I thought that might have been the case, and so it's all good. Dugu, if you want to share that touching story, and then Nina, you get yourself settled where you're able to stand in your power and lead us through that process, and that'll take us right to the top of the time that we've got together, which is perfect because we're hopefully going to be welcoming in some parents and youth, particularly, who are going to be like the Dugus of the world. That I don't think I'm saying your name right, and I apologize, my friend. I absolutely love you, and it's just like, I hate butchering somebody's name. It's just like when I catch myself. But,
I think you said it pretty well.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the sensitivity around my name too, and like the will to like, I want to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, cool. If you want to take the stage there, I think that this is a really powerful story, and then we'll get into the breathing. And I appreciate each of you who are here and who are tuning in as well.
Hello, yes. Okay, so it's an interesting story because I posted a picture of my cat, and like, I didn't expect a lot of response, but I've also been doing a lot of unmasking of my own like way of being. And so I posted in a way where I thought, well, this is very natural for me to talk like this, like without the mask, without like a persona, the persona we put on. I essentially posted this picture of my cat saying like, I have so much gratitude for this cat because I don't know if I would have like he came into my life at such a perfect moment, and I didn't know like at that moment he came at such a perfect time that had he not come, I'm not sure I would be alive. And I wrote this in a way where I was in my power, not where I was in a place of weakness or where I was in a place of like wanting to receive attention or none of that really. It was really coming from a place of I am just so happy for this cat, and this cat seems to choose me every time. And it's so fascinating to me because I never grew up with pets and I didn't really have much attachment with animals, but since my cat, my Indy, it's been lovely. So I posted it on Facebook, and then I got some beautiful responses, which was like so overwhelmingly like joy filling for me. Because my intentions were just like posting a gratitude post, you know what I mean? Like gratitude post for this like tea, gratitude post for like, whatever. And actually this teacher, she was a student teacher when I was in grade 1 or 2, I believe. And she had connected with me a couple of years back and wrote this whole thing. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. When we were connecting. And then on this post, like fast forward to like now, she commented on the thing that she posted because she shared a story with me. She's like, I don't know if you remember me, but I remember you. And I was just like, wait, this is on Facebook Messenger. So I'm like, this could be anyone. They could be like a scam. Like it could be whatever. Like there's so many things online that I didn't even know who it was because I didn't remember it. I was so young. Anyways, as I'm reading through it, I'm like, oh, well, which school are you talking about? And then she had pictures. She had pictures of like time back then. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me in grade 1, like little version me. And I had like a little cut like this. And it was just, it was a whole thing. Anyway, she was like, essentially, had you not shown your sensitivity to me, and taught me the lesson that your sensitivity had, I don't think I would be happy in the job that I was in, because she made a big decision to move from working with younger children to working with older children as a teacher. And it was so interesting because when she initially told me the story, of course, it was like this huge, long thing. And it was very, very touching. And we've like meant to like catch up, etc. since, but we didn't actually like connect. And we realized we're living in the same city. Like ironically, that was it was in another city before. And then when she commented that, I was like, oh wow, there are so many beautiful domino effects with the kids that I work with that like, of course, I would have that impact on someone else as well. And to know that that impact was purely just me being and feeling. Um, yeah, the story is really simple. Like I didn't have a pencil on my desk, everyone else did. The student teacher that I was talking about that had commented on the post, she um like I came to her being like, I don't have a pencil on my desk, and then she's like, no, it's there, go back, and she was busy doing something else. And then I come back being like, I really don't have a pencil. And now I'm worried, like we need to do this assignment. And she just kept pushing me and saying, no, it's there, just go look for it, whatever. And then I didn't even come up for a third time because apparently I was just at my desk crying. Which is like the cutest little thing, because I can, and it saddens me that like that was my experience, because that's what an experience is for a child. Like they feel fully. There's no like masking the feelings of a child. They just feel it exactly as they want to. If they're angry, they're angry. If they're happy, they're joyful, you know? So it was this like really beautiful moment of like when she communicated this to me, I don't recall it, I don't remember it at all. But as she's like telling me the impact on her life and how it really caused her to pivot in her professional view, and also what she actually does, I was like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I saw that thread in the picture that you had written, or a post about your cat, and I thought it was beautiful. And my cat also has been, the one that loved me unconditionally through all of my dark nights of the soul. And I'm so
Mm.
grateful for my little feline. And so I just call him my little wee lion. And I'm going to actually now say thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that story, and to Nina for showing up to guide us through this breathing process as well. And I'm grateful that errors take place, because then beauty unfolds organically in addition to what was already planned. And so really looking forward to having you guide us through a process to really set the stage in the in the 9-ish minutes. We can go a little over as well, but we will have people potentially jumping onto the call at 8 o'clock, and we will be going offline as well once people do start getting admitted into the call, because I want to respect the fact that for a sacred container to be created, we need to make sure there are no energy leaks, with people being able to observe without being able to see who else is in the view. So we're going to take the stream off Facebook, but we have shared the link. So anybody interested in coming on the call now, make sure you keep your video off unless you are okay with being seen on camera. We do love to see the warriors, but so do the ones that are watching, which make that a more dangerous thing as well. So make your call, but none of us make it safely out of life alive. And so we must dare to be significant enough to make an impact while we're here, and set the stage for the ones that will take over tomorrow, and set them up to be able to feel safe enough to step up today and at least practice and train with us. So Nina, if you'll take it away, I am happy to turn my camera. Well, I'll keep my camera on. My mute is going on, and welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you, Laura. Hi, all. So often we walk through life without even recognizing how we're breathing. And if it wasn't for the practice of breath, I wouldn't be near where I am in life today. So I invite you to close your eyes down if you're comfortable to do so. And just become aware of your state of being, excuse me, and your feeling of breath. Beautiful. I invite you to become aware of your midsection as you breathe. You can sit up nice and tall, opening up your shoulders onto your back body, and becoming aware of that midsection as you inhale, really expanding your stomach out. And as you exhale, really focusing on that release of pressure as your navel presses in towards your spine. Bringing big focus to this small space. We'll start to expand our awareness up to our mid-body, filling your lungs completely, and exhaling every last bit of air. Just allowing that focus to be on your mid-body as you breathe here. Feeling the expansion in your back and your ribs. Inviting deeper awareness now on your next inhale all the way up to the top of your collarbones. And exhaling completely, feeling the air leave from the top of your collarbones all the way down. And as you breathe, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, fully expanding your entire thoracic capacity. Allowing your exhale to be relaxed and gentle as you exhale every last bit of air. Allow your focus to relax, but yet keeping the awareness in your lungs as you fully expand them and completely contract them with every breath. And as you focus deeply on your breath, I invite you to bring awareness to the energy exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide deep within your lungs. Within the tiny capillaries, the longer and slower your inhale, the better chance you have of fully saturating your lungs and your blood with fresh oxygen. And allowing for that full exhale allows your body to detox fully with the carbon dioxide. With every exhale, allowing yourself to feel more connected to the earth underneath your seat. And with every inhale, feel yourself connecting to the cosmos above. You can either allow yourself to breathe the universe, or allow the universe to breathe you. Allow yourself grace for the thoughts that may come up. If they're trying to pull you away, it's because you're on the right path. And remember, every time you direct yourself back to the focus of your breath, how it feels in your body, the exchange of energy, it's like you're getting stronger, like doing a rep at the gym. Gently direct yourself back to the task. When we do this practice with loving awareness, we can allow ourselves to surrender to the practice. Inhale fully. And a sighing exhale out of the mouth. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out of the mouth. Just checking in. Just checking in with yourself now. Noticing if your state is any different than when we started. Knowing you don't need a bunch of time to shift your energetic state. 3 minutes will suffice. We are all warriors of light. And in order for us to be of practice or of presence to this world, we need to practice the pause with our breath. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today with you. And thank you for showing up for yourselves and all the others in this world. Namaste, ladies. And gentlemen, sorry.
Namaste, Nina. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And Samantha, welcome as well.
Hi.
It's great to have you here. Wow, my heart is so full, and having just done that incredible process, who do we have here in this screen as well?
Do you want to say hi? Here, come. Say hi.
Oh, how are you,
Hey.
little man?
Okay. Tell them what your name. What's your name?
Marcus.
You gotta take your finger out. Take your finger out.
Marcus.
Michael?
Marcus. This is Marcus. Mhm.
Marcus, well,
Hi,
thank you
Marcus.
for coming and being the youngest little man on the call. You are so brave, and we are so glad to have you. Your mommy is doing something very important. So thank you for sharing her with us tonight.
Do you want to say anything? What do you want to say?
You guys can.
Okay, I love you. Let me take the call. Okay. Okay, we're good. Bye.
Beautiful. Well, Mark, thank you. I guess he can't hear us now, but it's wonderful to have a small representative for what's happening. I want to respect the fact I said that we were going to go off of Facebook Live so that we can make sure that what is shared is a safe container for anybody that is wanting to jump on the call, that may feel like you really just need a safe place to be able to express with others who are living fully and who are committed to continuing to have freedom and to be able to have a space to be able to unfold organically the way this meeting is. So we're going to go offline and simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. Nina, I would love, before we do that, since Samantha I already knew was coming on, so I didn't feel so bad about sharing your face when you came on. Nina, if you would share a few words, that process really was absolutely spectacular and well worth the wait. So thank you for showing up fully and breathing through your own process to get in the space to deliver that process for us all.
Thank you. Breath has changed my life. I know a lot of people who have told me for years I needed to be on medication in order to transcend the challenges that my personality was bestowing upon me. And while I still have a lot of work to do, I do know that the more I breathe, the better I am and the better I show up in the world around me. And if not for this practice, I may not be in this world today, you know. It's something our youth are not taught, and it is so important for us each individually to find our breath. You know, if we only got so many breaths in a lifetime and we were breathing shallow our whole lives, we would have a heck of a lot shorter life than if we took full, long, slow, aware breaths.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, and to be able to breathe in harmony with one another and to actually see the activation of light in another when the language of the soul that is breath speaks.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel all of your energy as soon as we started going. I felt you all. It's palpable and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Wow, and you're grounding with the trees, and you're out in BC where we've got the last stand as well. So that was an interview that I did with the Rainforest Flying Squad last week. If you haven't seen that, please definitely check them out and give them some love. And if you're a warrior without a war to fight, because the silent one is ultimately making it harder for us to actually understand the war we're really in. Please know that there are trees that require protection. There are loggers being dropped into ancient forests to bypass the man-made human chains. And the chain members, the links, are being brutalized, pepper sprayed in faces and private parts just to torture and try to bully the ones who are standing to protect our lands. So as dire as the situation is, this call is being hosted because we really understand, as leaders who are here, all of whom I've connected to through various groups and opportunities where leaders are rising to the surface because they are showing themselves. Not to say it's required today, because that was part of this, but given nobody else is jumping on in this moment, I feel like, given that all of us who are here have either decided not to show our face or are choosing to, if you're cool to keep it on. If not, in the comments we can shut it off and not be streaming to Facebook Live. But the meeting that was going to happen, there's tremendous value that's going to be shared on YouTube afterwards anyway, and Facebook too. So if anybody would like to just carry on live until somebody else is able to participate, then that could be a great opportunity. And then I'm feeling that because that was not part of the agreement, then maybe it's not appropriate to change the rules. and then Nina's back. And then it's like in the moment, it's just like sometimes we just have to let things settle as they are. So if that's good, anybody can anonymously say in the chat that it's not, and we will go off on live. But if anybody, while we are still streaming to Facebook, I am shadow banned, so not a tremendous number of people see my stuff when I'm going live. So feel free to share this from my page, Laura J.E. Hamilton. And that's appreciated for people to be able to hear this message. And if somebody has a message that you would like for our youth to hear particularly, what was important for me to really point out today, and I didn't bring a whiteboard down with me, so I'm just going to simply say that it's the 5 levels of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I feel like our youth really need to understand how they're being played. And then we also need to understand it's not just the youth that are being played. We are all being played. And it is our motivational needs that are in the frame as the culprits for how we're being played against one another and played even against our own selves. And so if we actually look at this hierarchy of needs, at the very foundation is our survival. If we are in a situation where we do not have the ability to survive, we don't care about safety. We just want to survive. But once we have that basic need met, then we can move up to the level of survival or of safety. And interestingly, what I want to bring into the awareness collectively is about that cultural notion of bonding and connecting with one another through the adage of be safe. I want you to understand that that is very strategic, because if you are focused on safety, you are not just focused on belonging, you will not be focused on respect or self-actualization, which is the pinnacle experience of the motivational needs, except if you apparently actually bypass that and get into self-realization, which is actually above self-actualization. But all of that is not actually accessible if we are focused on staying safe or staying in a space with others who don't respect us, because then we will not respect ourselves enough. And the thing is that when we're coming into our own, it's very easy to jeopardize our respect for the sake of belonging. But we're at a time in history, in our story, in fact, not just his. It is time for us to understand that we are all being called to rise above needing to just belong, to actually stepping into a state of respect. And that respect being how we then are able to actually fulfill the reason and purpose for our being here. And absolutely, anyone is able to share this. It is a public post to my Facebook page. So please absolutely do share this message, because it is a very important one. And it's not just because I'm saying what I am, it's because I see the gems that are in the view who also have a lot to contribute to the conversation about how we're being manipulated in order for us to focus on those lower level needs. And what we may find is that after today, when there are significant political shifts that will be taking place, that we're going to start to see a lot more cracks in the dam that has been being upheld and is not going to necessarily look the same after this week. I know I've got my court hearing on Friday, so it's not going to look the same for me, because I'm either going to know that lawful notices work, or I'm going to be locked up, and we're going to know that the de facto government is ultimately using me as the example, because Event 201 planned it as such, prescribed it as such. And if we're not aware of what Event 201 is, then we just need to look at the strategy planning that was prepared October 18th, 2019, where there was a closed door meeting between heads of corporations who ultimately met to talk about what to do in case there were a pandemic, with 5 hours preparation training, including what to do with the ones who don't obey or conform, and then also what to do with the media and all of the outlets. So it's all prescripted pre-scripted, because these are spells that Holly Wand stands and casts their spells out in the stories that we then pay ticket price to be admitted to, and then give our energy to the tell lie visions that are on the screen. And then we're saying, oh, I see that. I see that. Yes, I see. Well, do we like what we're seeing? Or are we willing to envision that which is in our third eye and in our hearts, and then bring that to the fore? And so this meeting, the intention for it is really to show young leaders of tomorrow that we do have warriors who are taking a stand, that are speaking out, that are doing what is required. And so I would love for one of you to unmute yourself so that we know it's your turn, and then share a message as to why you showed up to a call for youth, and why it matters to you enough to spend a Monday night of a historic day to be in the view or not, to connect about this important topic.
Can I make a quick note?
Yeah, please.
I did a lot of research on Maslow, and I was floored, like aggravated and angered when I realized Maslow actually took his hierarchy of needs from the Blackfoot Nation. So it's not Maslow, who was a white man, but it's actually from an indigenous thing. And I can send lots of resources on that. But I do want to mention that as we honor the land that we are on.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Please do share that, because I've never experienced that reference, but it's not surprising. Samantha?
Yes, I was just unmuting my mic. How are you? How is everybody in here tonight?
Better, because you are here and using your voice and doing what you're doing. And we met at Queen's Park at the Worldwide Rally on Saturday, and when we connected, it was just this heart-to-heart sister bond that was just like, hello, godsend. And then we literally were standing together having our first face-to-face after I heard you on the stage or next to the statue, and then we connected. And then it was actually a petition about mind control that we actually were asked to sign, which felt so significant given that Canada is MK Ultra way more even than anywhere else. So if you want to speak into all that, Mama Bear?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I've come across a lot of people in this, since becoming this powerful, outspoken individual during all of this. And I've come across a lot of people, but there was something when I came across you, I felt like you were a sister. I just felt that sister bond and that sister connection to you, and how beautiful that we are often placed in situations now where we just automatically connect with people like that. I think it's beautiful. I think this is one of the gifts that we, as the soldiers and the light workers of this time in this era, I think that's a gift from the universe, to continuously recharge our soul. They direct us into oncoming paths of sisters and brothers that we need to connect with in order to stay strong in all of this, right? Because I say it all the time, the world is trying to break us down. But what the world fails to realize is that they've birthed a whole generation of warriors. Yeah. Like I've never felt strong like this in my whole entire life. I've never felt validated. I've never felt seen. I've never felt heard. And I can honestly say now that I stand in my truth, requiring no one to hear me and no one to validate me. And I feel strong and I feel powerful. And I was able to do this because of my children, because I have 4 children. I saw what the world was doing to them. I saw what the world was taking away from them. And I saw the hurt that they were going through. And so I had to process my fear, and I had to process my frustrations, and every feeling that I had, every heavy feeling that I had to process it, and I had to work through it. And I had to give myself permission to let it go, because my babies needed me. And I think we are living in this world right now where, come on the other side, baby. I think we are living in this world right now where our youth are being forgotten. Like they've literally, Mama Judy's call, sorry.
But the significance of him coming in this moment, Marcus, you're right on cue. Keep on going.
Well, yeah. So as I was saying, and you can come say hi if you want to as well.
Hello, darling. Welcome.
No, that's my older one. So yeah. So what I was saying was that our children are being forgotten. The mental health state of our youth is being forgotten. The needs for development of our children is being forgotten, all out of the sake of a virus which has been proven to not be so deadly for our children and our youth. So I think it's come to a point where, as a mother, first and foremost, but also as a human being, I think it is our duty to stand up for the voiceless. And I'm not saying that our youth are voiceless, because I'll tell you, my babies, they got some strong, powerful voices, but their voices are not being heard. And so it is almost those who have been blessed enough to be chosen to see what is going on in the world right now, and to have been chosen to work through anything that they have to find the strength to stand up to it, because it's scary when you stand up in the face of it. I'll tell you, I shake, and I have this thing overcome me where it's terrifying when you have to stand in the most vulnerable state of yourself and speak your truth. But I'll tell you, there's no other option. Like, there is no other option. Our children need us, and they are coming for our children hard right now, because what they see is that our generation, myself, as well as the individuals who are watching this, we stand strong in our roots of saying we will not consent, we will not back down, we will not give in. Our children are easily manipulated. Our children are easily coerced into doing something that might be against the wishes of their caretakers. This is why they are coming so strong for our children, because they are easy targets. So I think it's very important that if you have, again, been blessed enough, because not everybody has the capacity to really understand what's going on in the world right now. If you've been blessed enough to have been a chosen one, I know that might sound a little cheesy, but if you have been blessed to have been, are you okay? You okay? To have been a chosen one during all of this, to really truly understand what is going on, it is your duty to stand up for the children. No matter what that might look like for you, no matter what little people you might have in your life, it's our duty that we have to protect the well-being of our youth, because at the end of the day, in 20 years time, this is a generation that's going to be, I don't want to say controlling the world, because that sounds very whatever, but for lack of better words, this is a generation that's going to be, and I still can't even say controlling, but you understand what I'm trying to say. This is a generation that's going to be in the forefront of the world, let's say. So if we can't develop them with good intentions on being good human beings, then what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So I think anytime there's an opportunity where we have to stand up and protect our children and protect our youth, all hands have to be on deck for that. It's not an option. They are trying to cripple this generation. And I said it at the rally, and I say it every opportunity I get. We are the mothers and the fathers of the children that they're taking advantage of, and we are not going to let this happen anymore. So whether we do beautiful things like this, where we offer tools to kids or youth that may be going through something right now, whether we lend a hand, whether we offer a voice, whatever way you can, you have to help them right now. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the kids. Oh, sorry, it might get a little bit loud because my husband just walked in. Yeah, I could go on and on about protecting the kids. I think, I don't know if everyone here, anyone else here is a mother, but there's something that kind of downloads inside of you when you become a mother, that you will go to the ends of the earth to protect your children. And right now it feels like there's a battle every single direction you look in to protect your children, right? So
Well, the
this is
symbolic significance of the fact fact her husband came in and the commotion and the fact that Marcus even held up a coin in the moment where you were talking about the children.
Yeah.
He was tuned into the fact that they are coinage, because that's what a patient is for a system that eats people and poops out profit driven patients.
Yeah.
And so when we understand that a system is designed to save yourself significant time, energy, money, then we start to see that the system eats us because we're actually the engine that drives the system. And so when we then backtrack and understand that the commotion will come and the commotion will be there, but if we can actually do what Nina led us through previously, to be able to breathe and to be able to start actually tuning into the moment where our power lies and where we're able to connect with others who are also breathing in unity, that's when we then reach the mandala effect, where it's like we radiate peace and love out into the universe in a way that actually makes it so that people who are in the state of chaos and confusion and hopelessness and despair and all of the energies in motion that are emotions in movement, that then we get hit by in the moment, we feel something because that's how we interpret the energies in motion in our space. And then we get hit by all of those emotions that aren't even necessarily ours. And we have to really use a 4-step process I often share, and I'll do now just as a quick tool to be able to really bring yourself back in those moments when you maybe have an anxiety attack, because you just got hit with the momentum of energy that's in the collective consciousness that just came back at you, because so much of what is out there is not actually healthy in this toxic culture that we're living in, which is the cult you rally with BS belief systems that we rally with or culturally accepted. So I like to break words down that way, as you know, and it is to say that in the moment that you're experiencing a big emotional outburst or just suddenly being washed with an emotion that overtakes you, is this mine? You ask yourself. So you say, is this mine? And then you hear, your subconscious will speak to you, and your subconscious will respond and say yes or no. And then you say, can I let this go? And you'll hear yes or no. And then you say, will I let this go? Because can I let this go means that, like, you could climb that if you chose to. But will I let this go means, am I actually going to do it? And then when we hear the answer to that, we say, if not, why not? Because we're getting something out of not letting it go. If we know that it's not ours, or that it is, and we could let it go, we would let it go, but we don't choose to. That's when then we start to investigate the fact that in this culture, woundology is actually how we connect, through our wounds. And culturally, that's why stay safe is the way we bond with one another, because then you stay on the level everyone else is focused on, rather than focusing on respecting yourself enough to say, no, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean the drugs are safe, guys. At the party, you don't just take a drug from a random stranger and trust it to be good, especially with the fentanyl crisis that's caused with, you know, all of the craze of the opioid crisis that was actually created in part by the same woman that actually changed the FDA's requirements around these injections that are we're not going to talk about, because I've already seen that in the comments on Facebook this call is being moderated. The live chat is being moderated, it says. So I don't know specifically, but we use the tools until we don't have access to them. And so I wanted to give anyone else who may want to contribute a message of hope to the youth and the ones that need to know that empowering conversations like this are happening, where we're saying, feel, baby, just feel through what comes up, and don't feel like you need to judge yourself because you might get like some ugly cry going on, when you really touch into those deep, dark shadow emotions that we're processing for ourselves. for all of the lifetimes we may have lived before now that are showing up in that moment the emotion hits us. And then on top of that, the collective energies within the grid, that is the matrix that we're all part of, this field of collective consciousness, which is where the energy circuits, and it's like neural pathways in our brain. The neural pathways are like, if you think about a field of grass, the common belief systems or beliefs that you have are like, you go on this path, and then you go on that path enough times, the grass gets beat down under your feet. But then you switch over and decide to do something different from that same starting place, and that path is not yet beat down. But that's because we're the trailblazers. We always heard about the 3 waves of volunteers that were coming to planet Earth, planet Earth. But like, did we ever actually think that like we might actually be here on assignment to tackle what's upon us, and to actually say, regardless of the age or stage that we're here, we need courage, which the French definition of coeur is heart. So we need heart, and it doesn't matter what your age is. We're recruiting for you to actually step into who you are, who you came here to be. And we are hoping to be able to create a space where little ones like Marcus can come in to the view and say, hey, you, I am good enough. I'm going to say, I am good enough. Can we say, I am good enough? I am good enough.
Marcus, can we say, oh, he can't hear you. Hold on a second.
Oh, he can't hear me.
Oh, wait, sit. Wait. Yeah, you're falling. Come over here.
That's okay.
Yeah, can we say something? Let's say this. Okay, go ahead.
Marcus, can you say, I am good enough?
Can you say that?
I am.
Say, I am good enough. Say it loud and proud, baby. Loud and proud. That's right.
You are more than good enough, Marcus. Say, I am awesome.
Say, I am awesome. Say it loud and proud. Awesome.
Awesome. Yes. We can be anything that we choose to be if we actually program ourselves well and take action that allows us to do what we want to do in this life. Right, Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say it too? Say, I am good enough. Here, you can come over here.
You are good enough, and we are grateful to have you. What is your name?
Terrence.
You're Terrence?
Yeah.
Terrence, it's wonderful for you to be on this call with us. Thank you for making an appearance.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that you would like for adults to be talking about where your future is concerned?
So about your future, like, is there anything you think the adults should be talking about to protect your future?
I don't know.
It's a big question. So you can sit with that, and you don't have to feel any pressure, because when you feel pressured, you're unable to think anyway, right?
Oh, he got nervous off.
That happens. And
yeah.
And especially when we get let off the hook too, right?
Yeah. Does anybody else want to be a part of this call? Tyson, would you like to be a part of this call?
Whoa.
No? Okay. There's 4 of them, so I figured I'd run through all of them. Isaiah, do you want to be a part of this call? Do you want to be a part of it? No? Okay.
No, that's fair.
No, go around the other side. Yeah, no, the older ones don't tend to want to be so present in this. He was the one that would have participated in it, but I think he got a little bit shy.
Yeah, well, it's also hard because he couldn't hear the rest of the conversation before.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a level of needing to feel like we understand what's going on before we feel comfortable enough.
Of course.
Did you wanna add something in there, Hugo? And can you say your name again so that I can get it in my head, please?
Yeah. Duigo.
Dwigo.
Duigo.
Thank you. Do you have anything to say, Hugo?
I really am loving the focus on the children, because the thing with children is that they haven't created their masks yet. They haven't created their personas. So they are just as we saw. Like, and Samantha, I love that you give your children choice. That is so incredibly important because, you know, when we give choice, then we have the feeling of feeling autonomous. And, you know, that's a great feeling, especially right now. So children are our biggest reflections and reflectors. And I cannot wait to see more of that, like actually in action with other adults doing that too. Like imagine the world. Like imagine that world.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about that. I think it's that along with being these like awakened human beings right now and trying to save humanity, we are also so awake and aware of who we are that we are also breaking generational curses, because I know growing up it was either you do as I say or you don't do at all. I never had a voice. I was never able to say no. I was never able to ask questions. And when I first became a mother with my twins, I did that as well. I never asked them. Yeah, can mommy talk? Just give mommy 1 second. I am. He's one. But when I first became a mother, I just did what I knew because of what I was raised with. But then something happened where it kind of triggered me out of this and said, no, this is not how I want to raise my kids. This is not how I will raise my kids. So I think it's beautiful that we also have a generation of parents right now who are willing to do the work in protecting our kids through all of this, right? So I mean, before we used to have seminars like this and it would kind of fall on deaf ears. But now I feel that there's a lot of people who are really looking for guidance because they are trying to break that generational curse that they got handed down from their parents and their parents and their parents and so on, right? I think there are beautiful things happening in the world right now. I think there's this collective awareness of how negative everything used to be. And I think along with trying to save humanity, protecting our children, we're also raising a strong generation that is going to be able to handle the future of what is to come, right? So I just wanted to throw that in there on that as well.
I agree. And then I also say that it requires the young ones that are being protected to also know that they have a duty to also protect and to do their part too, because like there's limits in terms of, or not limits per se, but we have to be mindful about, we all come with gifts and skills, and there is a level of maturity that comes with leadership. And like, we need to be fostering leadership training like this, where we can come together, and it doesn't have to be me that's doing training. It's like, if I host a meeting and then bring some of the amazing players of the game into the scene, which is the reason that I invited Nina to come in and lead us through that breathing process to get us breathing together and unified. And Dwigo as well, I reached out to and asked if she'd come in. And then Samantha, when we connected too, it's like, each of you, Jordan too, you know, he's an incredible player in this game, and I know that he's not able to be on the call, and he's on the call, but may not be able to speak. Though if you're able to, Jordan, it would be awesome. But Jordan's a member of the Druthers crew, and so, you know, that's an amazing news outlet that is doing incredible things. They've even published a newspaper, or they've been publishing the newspapers, but now they've got the magazine that was the first 6 months of the newspaper articles, that literally every step of the way they've been speaking into the truth. So Jordan, I see you unmuted yourself, so it's great.
Yeah, I am here. I've been listening and trying to focus, but I've also been had some other distractions here. Yeah, I think the focus on the youth is really important, and I think that you even kind of woke me up to some of this, or I knew, but I didn't have as much clarity into what's really going to happen to the youth, because I don't even have kids. I'm just I'm just so disturbed, and so I can't believe what's going on with everything, but especially the kids. I mean, I can't imagine having kids right now. And Laura, you're talking about how they're going to inherit this, and so it's really up to them. It should be up to them what happens here, and we need to stop this for them. It's not even about the adults. We got to focus on the kids. So that's why I really love working with Zoe. She's the teen reporter.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've really emphasized getting her on like the front of the magazine, and getting her out on the lives and doing reporting. She's a really impressive young woman, and she's got an amazing voice. And so I hope she inspires other kids to step up. But yeah, I think having the youth speak out is really impactful. So I think we're onto something. We're on the right track with getting the youth involved, and getting the youth to kind of help us make these decisions if the adults can't do it.
Yes, Jordan, exactly. And so I've mentioned to you as well about album22.com, which was a project that I was involved with earlier in the year with Jared Wade with Mad Hatter's Music. And so we're actually going to be working on another program with putting together a music program or a project, but we're going to do it with youth, so that youth can come in to be able to connect with other artists and musicians and people that have bet on their dream, even when everybody else told them they were insane. Because that is definitely, it's been my experience as I've tried to give birth to Peaceful Inner Warriors United and the Special Practice, and the book that I say rewrote me before the world got to see the version that this version of me will finally be able to write, because of everything I went through in order to be ready and be willing to stand regardless of who says what about me. And without it saying that I don't care, I care less, because I have come to understand that so many people have no comprehension of what is in my mind as the vision that I've brought here to birth, that I just needed to stay strong and to stay focused and committed. And the book itself that came to me, the title 3 years ago when I first was working on it, or 4 years ago now, was Fully Committed, is what the title of that book is going to be. And I didn't realize it was because we all need to get to the place of being fully committed to being here in this moment. And Marcus is definitely, can he hear us now? Marcus, you can hear us, and you're trying to get mommy's attention because something's important to you. What is important to you in this moment, darling?
I'm good.
You're good.
My dad still going to get a candy with us. My dad. I do have a dad in my house.
You still have a dad at your house. Yes, daddy just had to step out for a second.
Oh, so it was important to let us know that you still have your daddy at home, even though he's not.
Oh, it's dad. It's a dad.
It's a dad.
Yeah.
A dad, not daddy, a dad. D-A-D.
Well,
yeah.
that's good that you're one for words. So what else is important to you right now in this moment, Marcus?
One beach.
Can you say it one more time?
One beach.
We went to the beach today.
The beach today? That's beautiful. Did you have to wear a mask, or you just breathed the fresh air?
If somebody asks us if we have a mask on, what do you tell them? What's your favorite song to sing right now?
Shake a Wing.
No. Okay. Well, the other favorite song. What's the one that
for us, Marcus?
What's the favorite one that we like to sing about the mask?
Yeah.
Tyson, do you want to come sing it?
Tyson,
No.
we'd love to hear you sing with us tonight.
Does anybody want to come?
I've
No?
never heard this song. Please educate me.
I do have that thing.
You do have something, indeed, your truck. That is wonderful. Well, we want to make sure that you...
No, let's not go get all of our toys. let's go get all of them. Oh, okay, we can show them. Okay, I'm gonna remind him. Okay, can we just be careful with that? Here, how about mommy will hold it for you until you get back up. Up. Okay, and then you can show it.
You want to look?
Oh, wow. Is this a crystal?
It's a rock. It's a special rock we found at the beach today.
Whoa. So you're literally keeping us all grounded here, eh, Carson?
Yeah, and we're going to paint it.
And we're gonna paint it.
That's cool. You'll have to show us because
You know how to walk.
I have lots of rocks, actually. Do you see my big rock here? This is called a citrine crystal. So citrine is a very beautiful, this is like 22 kilograms. So it weighs more than, or it probably weighs.
Where you find that rock?
Pardon?
Where you find that rock?
Where did you find that rock?
I bought this rock at a Christmas festival when I was in England. And when I came back from England, this was literally my most precious possession. And it made me cry when my carry-on had to get checked and I had to part with it. I was afraid it was going to be broken or damaged.
That was like a magical rock.
Did I do it?
Can we put this over
That's
here?
as close as I could get it to
Okay, so
be able
real
to.
quick. So she wants to do a song.
I would love to hear the mask song.
You want to sing that one? Okay.
Don't because I agree.
So what he's saying is no mask, so don't ask because I am free.
That's good.
Can I say it one more time?
Yeah.
He's saying.
Don't because I agree.
Yeah, and he usually screams like that too.
Wow, that would be intimidating.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
what my kids sing all the time. Every time we're in a store, because we never wear a mask. My 6-year-old Tyson and him, they walk around the whole store, no mask, so don't ask because I am free.
wow.
That's my brother right there.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
That is very good training. And it is very
That's
important.
my brother.
That is,
That's
I
my
love
brother.
how important your
And lemon with my tablet, and I know how to tablet.
don't have, well,
I-
it's going to be offline. It's better
Yeah,
to have
exactly.
something in your hands and a toy.
I don't have a tablet.
That's
It's
okay.
blue.
I don't I have.
Daddy going to get the me.
No.
I'm going to get
no
it.
more.
I'm going to get it.
No more tablet. I love it because when he feels like you saw at the beginning, he was a little shy, but then when he feels comfortable, he just speaks and he never stops talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially being able to be part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Wonderful. We appreciate that very much. Did you
Yeah.
want
You
to
say it. You say it, Mommy. Yeah, you.
Okay, I say that.
I just think this is so sweet. I'm just like oohing and awing over here. To keep it back on track.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
No, not at all. I love the segues. Those segues, it's kind of like, so this is the structure, right? It's like the trunk of a tree. And then everything that we add is a branch. And then every color and moment of expression is like a leaf or a flower that, or a fruit, or fairies or whatever we want to co-create. And I'd like to say, like, those that are currently with children, those that are currently, sitting here being like, what am I going to do? I have no idea. There are certain people, including myself, where, I have to do this thing where, I'm grounded in the present moment, because what I'm really doing is anchoring this present moment for the future timelines. Because with those future timelines, like, I am literally in that space of the future timelines. That's why I can create from that place. Because it's just the way it is, right? And so for those of us that are, working on like the policy stuff, this is phenomenal because we need that, the law stuff. And I call them stuff because, like, I'm not an expert in those fields. I'm an expert in my field and I do it well. And I love when others are experts in their field and they love what they do and they do it well. And for those of us that are, really anchoring those future timelines, it requires this level of being super grounded. and also thinking very, 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 very out of the box and creating from that place. And so I know that there's already like mention of angst, frustration. How can this possibly be happening? Because it has to. The only way the system will break is if this happens. And I mean, this is the most like connection, like I just got chills, but this is the most connection and community that I felt that I probably haven't felt in ever. Like it's like a dream. Like in my dream, we all come together. In our dreams, we all come together and somehow we're on the same page. And now it's like actualizing. So, yay.
Love that. It is about grounding the future realities into the now moment. And there's all the talk about the NWO and the New World Order and what's coming that way, and all the fear tactics that keep us bound into the old grid matrix system of fear, anger, depression, anything that's heavy and weighs us down and gets us falling. We have to be able to anchor a timeline of a higher vibration so that we can actually stay at that higher vibration and also be grounded in our will, which is where mater is embodied in our flesh, to be able to call down the I am that makes I'm possible. I am possible. Break that one down, Marcus. I am possible. I am possible. Can you do it?
Possible.
You got it. I am possible is what we have to remember.
What's my name, Marcus?
Do you want to say it? Okay. We have one more here, just hidden in the back, but he's
my
listening.
brother.
He's right here with us.
And just my other brother, he liked me and he loved me. And that's it.
Yeah, he loves you very much.
That's wonderful. And if you would like to add something to the conversation and don't want to be in view, that is okay too.
I got so many more.
Let's see time.
You don't want to say anything at this point?
Can I ask you a question? You don't have to be on camera to answer, but can I ask you a question? How do you feel during these times? Like, do you think as your mom and as adults, do you think there's anything that maybe we can do more for you to make you feel strong and powerful and happy during these times? You don't know? Okay. He doesn't like being put on the spot. But we have these conversations. Can I have a turn?
Yeah.
Can I have a turn? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we have these conversations, and I don't know, like, I think now, and this touches on what you were just saying, that I've never felt more surrounded by people. Like, we are constantly surrounded by people. We are constantly submerged in communities of people that I think on the being seen and being heard and being encouraged aspect, like, I think my kids are good on that point, because we're constantly putting them around other people. So one thing that, like, I really try to encourage through my platform is that, because I have a lot of women, especially moms, reaching out to me that they're heartbroken for their kids because their kids are so segregated and they're so alone all the time. And I make it a point to say, put yourself out there, let go of the attachment of what you think you are. And that goes to what you were just saying, let go of this idea of what you think you are. We are now coming into a world where you're going to naturally connect with people that are going to love you for everything that you are, because they've once sat in that same feeling as you not so long ago, right? So I think it's very important that we continue to put our children and ourselves in situations where we can meet people, because when we put ourselves in situations that we align with right now, I guarantee you 90% of those people are there for the same reasons, and they're also looking for people to connect with, right? So it's very important that we continue to have our kids in environments where they have opportunities to connect with other children, where our youth have opportunities that they're seen, that they're heard, that they're appreciated. So I think it's important that we do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And keeping so that the older ones are able to support the younger ones. Like, I remember babysitting when I was 11 years old. and it's just like, it wasn't, that's not legal per se, but it happened. And like, I learned a lot of skills and responsibility. And so being able to bring the young ones in to say, like child slavery and child labor, for instance, like children are very capable when forced to be. Like, I'm not saying that I want that in any way. And yet at the same time, it's to say, like, we really need to be asking for how to best support the young ones to be able to come into spaces like these. So if anybody is listening to this message that either has children or is a young man or woman in the making that is going to be defined by the choices that you make now, this call, the intention for it, and I want to bring us into the final minutes so that we can really wrap up at the top of the hour, unless there's reason to stay longer. And certainly if the conversation, if it calls for it, then we can always extend longer in future meetings, because these meetings do need to continue and young people need to actually be in them. So Samantha, thank you for bringing your young people into this meeting tonight to represent and to let them know, to let their friends know that we genuinely have a heart to know what's going on for them, that we want to know how we can support them, and we want to be able to really set a foundation strong enough to be able to support you. Because I see you in the view there, and I'm talking to you, and I'm also talking to you who is not in the view, but that needs to be, because ultimately this is your future. This is our world, and the new orderly world. What I was gonna say, why don't we just shift the letters and make it the now, in terms of the newly ordered world that we actually bring into the now moment and say, no, we're going to reorder this baby, and we're going to do it in a way that respects the craziness that each of us bring into this mosaic of us that is the web of light around the world, where each of us are anchoring light in a way that only we can, for others to catch flame, like we did at the Palo Santo at the beginning. And so I sincerely hope that this message offers some hope and encouragement and inspiration or motivation to you who watch the replay, or that are able to just be watching with us live over on Facebook at this time, to really understand you matter, that we see you, that we want to see you, that we understand that you may be at a low point, but it will get better. And tomorrow you will be able to say that I have survived 100% of my darkest nights, like everybody that is in the view here can say, because each of us, and I can only speak for myself, so we'll do that and say, I've reached points where I didn't want to be here anymore, because I let all the BS of other people's expectations weigh me down to the place where I didn't think I could be me. And if I couldn't be me, I don't see the point. And I went to low enough points to be able to say I am grateful that I didn't act on something that I wouldn't have been able to change, in the way that most of those who go through such a low experience also say at the end of the day they're glad they made it. And we really need you to make it. And there are a lot of huge social issues that we're all being faced with right now. And this meeting, and I appreciate each one who showed up tonight, and genuinely say thank you for showing up tonight, and for being in all the other rooms that you showed up for in order to show up tonight too. Simply to say, we are here. We want you to know you have a space to come. I do have a Facebook community called Where Misfits Fit, Home for Soulful Seekers. You're welcome to join. And there's a Telegram group for Peaceful Inner Warriors United group as well that you would be welcome to join over on Telegram. Samantha has an incredible group as well called Empowering the Children. So definitely join that group on Facebook. Nina, I saw that you had just unmuted, and I would love to hear what you were wanting to contribute there. You're muted still.
Yeah.
this has just been such a beautiful conversation. And having your children there, Samantha, is really nice. My children have been in the background too, but here in BC it's dinner time, and I'm just, trying to do life while I'm participating. But I just really, I love that we're all pieces of this tapestry that are weaving together, and how we all have that integral place to play. And like Samantha had said about meeting people synchronistically, right? So I just wanted to really thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight and hang out with you ladies.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Nina, and thank you for guiding
Yeah.
us through that breath
Thank you.
process. If you have a way that people could get in touch with you as well, if you want to share that, and if anybody is in the view that would like to join you and just make an appearance, then by all means, they're invited to, and we appreciate that, but it's not required. We don't want to put pressure, but
I want to call to you just a second. I only have a Facebook page really. Well, I'm on Nina Peters on Facebook, as well as Grace and Wellness Within. So
Grace
I'm taking
Within.
Grace and Wellness Within is the Facebook page. So yeah. Anyway,
Great.
thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great night.
Yes, thank you, Nina. You as well, and to your family, thank you. And unless anyone else unmutes to let me know you'd like to have a final word, we're going to bid y'all on Facebook adieu, and everyone else too. We will come together very soon. And if you are local to the Hamilton area, on Saturday, the 25th, we will be coming together for a peaceful demonstration on at 1 o'clock. At 1:11, we're going to kick off with a sacred ceremony outside of City Hall Hamilton, and then at we're going to have some conscious conversation about what's going on socially and the mind control element to it, and the need to be able to breathe ourselves back into where we are. And then we're going to actually walk as a group to be able to shift the energies that were brought up with the presentations and the information that is shared, and then how that can impact with the cognitive dissonance that comes with two competing ideas coexisting in the same space, when new ideas maybe get shared that compete with existing mainstream that's poisoned ideas that conflict simply because one is truth and one is not. And so we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to bring that down, and that'll happen in Victoria Park after we've done that in the City Hall Hamilton. We'll walk down and move the energy, and then we're going to actually ground in the park on the dirt. So if you bring a blanket to get yourself protected, it'd be amazing. If those who are also here tonight are able to make it, because truly it's always incredible to come together with ones not only who get it, but that are also taking action and taking a stand and understand what's on the line. And so sincerely, from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my belly, where my breath extends to when I'm conscious of it, I say thank you and have an amazing night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good night. Say good night. Do you want to say good night?
Good night.
Oh, good night.
Good night, Marcus. It was wonderful to have you join us tonight. Thank you for being such a leader.
Thank you for letting us be a part of this. It's always beautiful to connect with like-minded people, but women, there's something very powerful about women and that sister energy. It's beautiful to let that energy go into the world. So thank you for letting us join this tonight.
Thank you. And I will say, Jordan very much is a man that's been holding the space as the space where others can actually see themselves come. So thank you for being a man who has made space for others to be able to feel present as well, Jordan, today. And thank you. Is it Tyson in the back there, you had said? Terrence, it's an absolute.
Good night. Good night.
You're here too. Thank you for sharing your mom and brother and yourself with us tonight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.